All right. Welcome back, everyone. Professor Eulo here for our week 2 lecture on narrative and genre. So, have you ever walked out of a movie and just thought, wow, how did they do that? It's not just the big stars or the fancy special effects, is it? No, there's a hidden architecture, a kind of blueprint that makes the story work. This week, we're going to become architects. We're going to learn how to deconstruct films and see the very foundations they're built on. So, let's just jump right in with the big question. How do movies really work? I mean, beyond all the surface level stuff, what's that invisible machinery that grabs you, that makes you lean forward in your seat, or gets you to feel something for these characters? What makes it all tick? Well, to answer that, we have to start by cracking a code, the foundational code of all cinematic storytelling. And it all begins with understanding one single, absolutely crucial difference. See, here's the thing you got to remember: movies aren't just tales being told to us, they're a series of events that we witness unfolding in front of our eyes. And in that experience, the filmmaker is our one and only guide. They have total control. They decide what you see, when you see it, and from what angle you see it, completely shaping your experience of the story. Okay, let's break this down because this is the most important distinction we'll make all day: story versus plot. The story is the whole shebang. It's the complete chronological timeline of events. A leads to B leads to C. Simple. But the plot is the director's playground. It's the specific puzzle pieces they choose to show you. And this is the important part: the order in which they decide to show them to you. And this visualizes it perfectly, right? The story is a nice straight line from beginning to end, but the plot can be anything the filmmaker wants it to be. It can be a circle, like in the classic film Sunset Boulevard, which famously starts with the main character already dead. Or it can be completely scrambled, like in 500 Days of Summer, where it's jumping back and forth through a relationship. The plot is how filmmakers play with us, how they create suspense and surprise and real emotion. So, how do they actually build these things? They use plot structures, which you can think of like architectural blueprints. They're tried and true designs for constructing a very specific emotional journey for us, the audience. Now, the most common blueprint, the one that is absolutely everywhere, is the classic three-act structure. Act one is the setup. We meet the characters, learn the rules of their world, and our expectations are set. Act two is the conflict. A huge wrench gets thrown into the works, and everything gets complicated. And finally, Act three is the resolution where it all comes to a head and we land in a new normal. It's a formula that's been working for thousands of years for a reason. It's just so satisfying. But the truly great filmmakers, the masters of the craft, they don't just follow the standard blueprint. They invent their own intricate designs to tell much more ambitious and complicated stories. For instance, a filmmaker might weave together a ton of different plot lines. Think of a movie like Traffic, where you're following all these seemingly separate threads that eventually collide to reveal a much bigger, more complex picture. And filmmakers also love to play with time itself. They can stretch a plot out to cover an entire lifetime, or they can compress everything down into just a few hours in real time. It's all about manipulating the plot to create focus and tension. So, you've got your story, the what happens, and you've got your plot structure, how we're going to tell it. Now, how do you package it for an audience? How do you signal to them what kind of ride they're about to go on? Well, my friends, that's where genre comes into play. I want you to think of genre as a kind of promise, a contract between the movie and the moviegoer. It's a shorthand that sets our expectations right away. And it usually does that based on two things: either the form, the specific ingredients you expect to see, or the effect, the specific emotion you expect to feel. Let's take the Western, for example. The Western is all about form. When you go to see a Western, you expect certain things, right? You expect the cowboy, that lone hero. You expect the vast open landscape. And you absolutely expect a central conflict between civilization and the wild frontier. It's a recipe. But horror, on the other hand, is all about the effect. It's not really about what you see, it's about what you feel. A horror movie, you see, is a machine engineered from the ground up to make you feel fear. It preys on our deepest anxieties, our fear of the unknown, of our own bodies, of the threatening outsider. And this is the key point, so really let this sink in. Genre is so much more than just a label. It is an incredibly powerful tool for social commentary. Look at this. High Noon uses the Western formula to talk about the McCarthy era blacklist. The Searchers dives into the complexities of racism right in the middle of the civil rights movement. Carrie uses the mechanics of horror to explore the terrors of being a teenager. Genre gives filmmakers a safe framework to explore really complicated, even dangerous topics by smuggling big ideas inside these familiar, comfortable packages. So now it's your turn to be the analyst. We're going to put all these new tools to the test with a film that didn't just bend the rules, it completely shattered them. Orson Welles' 1941 masterpiece, Citizen Kane. It's a film that's famous for basically tearing up the storytelling rulebook and starting over. This movie is the perfect case study for everything we've just discussed. As you watch, I want you to be on the lookout. Notice how its plot is a total puzzle box, deliberately refusing to give you easy answers. See how it shatters linear storytelling, jumping all over the place through different people's flawed memories. Pay attention to how it plays with genre. It's a drama, but it's also a mystery and a biography. And most importantly, notice how the entire narrative is constructed from multiple, totally unreliable points of view. And that brings me to the central question I want you to think about. This is the whole mystery of the film. What is the real story of Charles Foster Kane that this movie's confusing plot seems to be trying to hide? Why does it make it so hard to figure this man out? Go find out. I'll see you all next week.